parenting is not about this dictatorship and that if our children succeed, then that is our worth. Instead, it's a mirror, probably the strongest freaking mirror you will ever have if you use it, or the easiest way to create the most shame and guilt and weight in your life. Welcome back to one's journey of unwinding the mind and, of course, your daily microdose. Now, tune in to the latest episode of One's Journey. Today, I want to talk about parenting. I think parenting can be the most beautiful mirror you've ever been presented, or the greatest creator of shame, guilt, separation, sacrifice, pain, all of the ego stuff, all of the things that just hurt you within. Okay, parenting. Well, immediately it's of the body, right? In order to have a child, whether you adopt it or whatever, that child was created by bodies and created another body. And then we immediately have hierarchy, where as the parent, you are above the child. And it goes, I did a video on numbers. Again, your numerical age is above the child in this lifetime. Your body is bigger than the child's. Therefore, you are above the child, meaning you dictate to them what to do, how to do it, and you are not equals. You are on separate playing fields. You're probably like, what in the F, Ashley? We need to take care of our children. Well, yeah, okay. In the illusion, it is a parent's responsibility to feed the child, care for the child, keep them safe from danger. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about on more of the level of equals in regards to our forgiveness lessons here and to our mirrors, right? You are just as much a mirror to your child as your child is to you. And using your child as an opportunity for you to heal at a deeper level and see that mirror and practice forgiveness, instead of seeing your child as this little, you being a dictator and them needing to follow everything you tell them. Because the truth is, many times when you are parenting and you get uncomfortable with your child's behavior, not many times, always, it has nothing to do with them and their behavior and everything to do with the story you are holding on to within, the lack of forgiveness you have given yourself yet for a moment in time in which you showed up like that, you felt uncomfortable, whatever it may be, there is a story behind it. Your kid is not responsible for your happiness backpack. I think we often also try to give our children our happiness backpack. I know I have a son, he's 22 years old. I adopted him and have raised him since he was 5 months old. Beautiful, beautiful soul, beautiful spirit. But I have given that kid my happiness backpack so many times over and over again. And one of the main reasons why I think I completely fell apart at my divorce was when I met Jaden, I dedicated my life to ensuring, that's my son's name, to ensuring that he had the most perfect life ever, that he never had to suffer anymore. I was there to ensure that he was able to just have this life he deserved, is what I thought. And I remember when my ex-husband came to me and brought up the idea of divorce, I was like, oh my gosh, no, Jaden's going into 9th grade. Let's just hold on until after he graduates high school. Like, we can get a divorce then. We've made it this many years. We can make it that many more. And he was like, no, Ashley. And I was like, my world was over. Because if Jaden had to go through this, then I did not succeed. Then my worth, my happiness, everything I had placed on Jaden's back and his happiness was gone. And I self-destructed because literally I lived my life every day for him. And now looking back, of course it was meant to be a part of my journey, but because I did that, I couldn't be there for him anymore. Because I fell apart, when in fact, I don't believe divorce is what ruins children. It's how parents handle divorce, right? How do they handle that mirror that's being presented to them? And me, I couldn't handle it worth a shit. But it was because I had placed my happiness backpack on this kid that's not his responsibility. It's no one's responsibility. But in parenting, we want to see us as above them. And I did that for so many years with Jaden, of like dictating him what to do, doing his homework for him at certain times, telling him how he needed to dress, what he needed to eat. I was molding him into this little representation of the perfect slide under the radar being that wouldn't cause a ruckus. And what I realized is because when I was little, I was told you talk too much. You're creating a scene. Stop doing that. All this shame and guilt that I hadn't worked through yet, I was puking out on Jaden. My shame gremlins, as Brene Brown would say. And when I started to do my healing and doing my own internal work and began to rebuild that relationship with Jaden, it's been hard, really hard to just allow him to be exactly how he is, and to realize that every time I feel uncomfortable has nothing to do with him and everything to do with me. But I will say I recently went home and I had the most amazing time with my son I have ever had. And it was almost like we switched roles as far as in the illusion, right? If we think I'm above him in this role, if we use the illusion, he was above me. I was the child. He was the parent. He's going through some things right now, and he brought up how grateful he was that I adopted him. And I was like, but what about the divorce, Jaden? Except for the divorce, right? And he's like, no, Mom. The divorce has made me who I am today. And I just I feel like I want to cry right now, but just floods came. He was providing me this forgiveness that I really needed for myself. And I think only because I was able to look in the mirror, him being the mirror, and realizing I deserve forgiveness, that is what he reflected back to me. And afterwards he said, Mom, if I've watched you in your journey, and mind you, after my divorce, I was not a very decent human being. And he said, watching you turn your life around has made me who I am today, has made me strong. I am so proud of you. Again, I felt like the child and he was the parent. But again, if I would have showed up to that time with him with that anxiety and fear and wanting to mold him and tell him how to do things, I wouldn't have allowed myself to forgive myself. That's why I always wanted to control, is because I wasn't willing to forgive. So parenting is not about this dictatorship and that if our children succeed, then that is our worth. Instead, it's a mirror, probably the strongest freaking mirror you will ever have if you use it. Or again, the easiest way to create the most shame and guilt and weight in your life, because they are here on the same journey you are. They have spent just as many lifetimes, if not more maybe, as you. And maybe in a different lifetime, they were your parent. So what I'm trying to say is they come with the same shit you do. And we're not the ones that are effing them up per se. It's a part of their journey. And if they turn out a certain way that doesn't align with what you looked for them, that was their journey. It doesn't have to do with you. Your discomfort is what has to do with you. So remember, the parent-child relationship isn't about you molding them. It's about being on equal playing grounds in regards to understanding that you both have forgiveness lessons here. It is a classroom for both of you. And in reality, when it comes to the actual journey here, and I'm not talking about safety and eating and that shit that a parent does have to take that higher role, but the role of just forgiveness is equal, and they can be the strongest mirror you will ever see. I cannot repeat that enough, because I will tell you, Jaden has been the strongest mirror for me and my biggest prickler I have ever had. And the reason why is because he reflects so much of myself so strongly, and he reflects the things that I have yet to forgive. And every time I interact with him, I am reminded of things that I still have not let go of, that I still have not released and realized actually never happened. So That was our session on parenting today. I would love to hear your feedback about that. I'm sure there is going to be definitely some polarizing feedback in regards to this. So comment below. I would love to have a conversation. As always, if you have any upcoming videos you would like, comment below as well. And remember, friend, you're worth it. Much love. Bye-bye.